This is the cheapest way to build really good horsepower on the 6th gen Camaros right now. Look how much taller that one is. It's crazy. Yo, the burbles are so much more aggressive. Man, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Zoomin, and I'm back with another booming video. So today we are working on the Lt2 intake here. If you guys missed the last video, we already started porting the snout. I'll show you guys that a little bit up closer later on. I've actually gone back and even messed with it a little bit more. Now, the last time you guys saw this bottom section, it was not nearly as cleaned up. It's still not perfect now, but just smoothed out a little bit more. But what today's video is about is we got the extension so that we can finally port the runners. I don't know that today I'll for sure get this thing installed, but in this video, I will for sure get this thing installed. So I'm running a little bit low on time today, and I really just want to spend as much time as I can on this intake, take my time with it, put a little TLC into this thing because, I mean, you only port it one time, you know, so I'm gonna just clean it up, make it as nice as possible. I got a little bit of time today, and then so as you can see, it's nighttime now, but I have been grinding, I have been hustling. So it's been about 3 hours now. I didn't quite finish porting the runners, but I mean, we're right there. So let's check out what I've done. Obviously, I touched on it, high pressure fuel pump. I still just came, sanded it some more, even cleaned it up some more. If you guys do not know how to modify the Lt2 intake to make it fit your LT1 motor, go check out my previous video, maybe 2 videos ago now. I touch on everything you need to do to this intake to make it fit right onto your car. I came and I touched up a little bit of the snout again. Not sure how much you guys can actually see, but up at the top of the snout there, completely took away any lines that were in there. That looks super good. Now let's check out these runners. So I knocked out this entire side, and then I just have this side left. Now if you look into the runner here, you can see most of the lines that were in there. I got rid of all of them. I am not a porter. I've never ported anything before. Literally last week was my first time ever porting something. I ported my throttle body, and I was sitting here thinking, you know, like, it's crazy what I've done on this channel in the last year, you guys. Literally my Camaro right now, I have completely built it from the ground up. Whether it was simple stuff like laying a wrap down, I laid my own wrap down. Whether it was things like installing a supercharger, I installed my own supercharger. I took the time to even learn how to tune. Like, there isn't a single part on my car that I have not laid my hands on. Damn, I'm proud of that. I shared the whole journey with you guys. Go check all that out. I've built my entire car and tuned it. That's just wild to me. Make sure you smash that sub button. Y'all want to see more? I tell you guys how I do everything. I don't keep nothing from you guys. So that's going to do it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow, right? Just got to the shop. Look at this. So this is the piece of wood that I roll up onto since I lowered my car to get the feet underneath my car from the lift. I thought I rolled up on the rim. Luckily, my Conti saved me once again, saved my wheel once again. I'm loving my Contis this year. See if I can get this out without nicking the rim. Alright, so where we're at on this intake is I ported all the runners along this side. I got this one runner, and then we have these last 3. Everything that I can fill in there with my fingers that's either like a lip in there on the plastic, or it's where the pieces of plastic are pressed or glued together, I sand all of those flat. But look at what it used to look like, and you can clearly feel the seams between the plastic pieces pushed together. And then this is what we're making it look like. Now, where you can see it get black in there, that's only as far back as I can get my extension tool into there, but that should be plenty because that gets rid of the majority of the ridges. Another spot is these lines right here going around in the plastic completely disappear once you sand it and clean it up in there. And you know, maybe I'm gaining 1 to 2 horsepower off of this, but whatever, as best as it can flow, the better it is. And if I decide to go bigger horsepower later on down the road, it's just more suited for it. The way things work like this when you increase flow is the higher the horsepower is, the more of an advantage it's gonna be. So this is the last port we have left. We're almost done. I'll probably do like a little time lapse or something for you guys. So if you guys are doing this and you get to the point where you're ready to remove your intake, it's super simple. You pop these covers off right here. This cover right here has, I think, 4 bolts in it that you unscrew. Pop off these hoses and stuff right here. Oh, and depending on what your setup is here, if you guys have your cold air intake, you obviously need to remove it from the throttle body, or if you're Procharger like me, you need to remove wherever your inlet hose is. And you'll also need to transfer your throttle body over to your new intake. So I'm gonna go ahead, take care of that stuff, and I'll catch up with you guys when we actually get to the intake. All right, so I've got everything removed on this. I've pretty much got everything disconnected. Now, you guys that don't have either a catch can or a Procharger like me, be aware you will have to cut this PCV line and add in some 3/8 hose. Luckily for me, I may end up extending this hose. I don't know. We'll see what it is once I actually get this intake on there, but I don't have to worry about that. Now, everything disconnects pretty simply. It's pretty straightforward. You know, you just unhook everything and put it right back in. The map sensor, if you guys did not see my last video, it is on this side of the Lt2 intake, so we have that extension. Again, go check out my last video for all the modifications you need to make. Now, the brake booster line in the back is supposed to pull right out the intake, but I could not get it that easily, so I went ahead and disconnected the brake booster line up here. That way I can remove this whole intake out of there, and then I'll pull it out the back, because I mean, just reaching all the way back here, it just doesn't work trying to get back there. My intake, I took it out, hosed everything off to get all of the water out of there. You can see a couple of water spots still, but I mean, everything looks good. All my ports are beautiful. Sorry you guys can't see in there too well. The lighting's not the best, but yeah, everything looks great. A little bit of water on the inside I'm not that concerned about. You know, minuscule water like this, little droplets. If it gets into the cylinders, it's just gonna evaporate. And plus, once the motor's on the vacuum actually turns the water into a mist. So I'm just not that concerned about it. It'll be out quickly. Normally, you never want water inside of anything of your motor, but small amounts like that, they just evaporate. We went ahead and we got all the bolts removed out of this intake. There's 2, 4, 5, so 10 total here. They actually stay in the intake, so when you take these out, I'll show you how you get them out of there so that we can put them in the new intake. And when you're pulling this out of here, just be careful you don't nick it around. And if you do your brake booster hose like I did, make sure you're careful going around that fuel pressure line right there. And there it is, not too bad, you guys. Now be careful if you do this that you don't have anything falling into the ports. That's all bad. So what this is underneath here is your fuel system. Those are the fuel rails there, and that's the high pressure fuel pump back there. So if you guys are ever upgrading to an LT4 pump, that's where it's at back there, and that is what we have to cut, that section where the ribs are on the bottom of the intake. So some quick tips for you guys if you're working on this. Now this is the brake booster line here. To get it out of this fitting, if you just pull on it, it's gonna pull right out. So you gotta get a tool to push down this red section right here, and then the hose will pull right out of there. Now this is the fitting that was on there. I believe it's a 1/2 inch. And as you can see, I really had to stretch this 3/8 fuel hose to fit on there. But it's on there super tight, so yeah, I think it's gonna work. Some people have cut this directly off. I didn't have to do that. I'm hoping to just do it like this and slide it right over the end here. Bada bing, bada boom. Also, I went ahead and I got all of my gaskets transferred over. Now, I just went ahead and used my old gaskets. I don't have that many miles on my car, and these are in really good shape. If I pulled them off and they were in bad shape, I would have just bought new ones. I don't know, they're like 20 bucks for a set of 8 maybe. Look how much taller that one is. It's crazy how much taller it actually is. I feel like the camera's not even really doing it justice on how much larger of an intake this Lt2 intake is. I mean, it's just huge in comparison. It honestly looks like almost double the size. I mean, even underneath it just... Really looking forward to the performance gains we're going to get out of here. You can see I've got my map sensor put on here. It faces a little bit different direction, but we've got the extension. So you need to remove the 10 bolts out of this intake that bolt to the actual block. And you can see they've got like these sleeves on them here. So you want to make sure you get that bolt out with the sleeves. I went ahead and I picked up a bolt here with a hammer and just knock them out. And they come out Pretty easy. And then when you want to get them back into the new intake, same way you took them out, tap them in. Man, let's go, y'all. We got it knocked out. So here it is. This is the Lt2 intake, man. I got it all on there. Now there is a foam pad underneath. I had to cut that. I may try to trim it down later on and get it installed, but as of right now, I'm really happy with this. Now, some things that I had to do. Obviously, the brake booster line. I don't know if you guys can see it in there. So there's the brake booster line over there, and honestly that hose fit on there so tight I didn't even bother with hose clamps. If it slips off and I have an issue, then I'll address it then. So this is the line that I extended for the PCV line. I mean, it's gonna work, it's alright, but it's kind of ugly. I don't love how straight this is pointing up, so I don't know. I may see if I can do something about that later on. I mean, even if there was some way to just connect like a 90-degree on there, it would look so much cleaner. Here's the map harness here. This is the extension. The extension is honestly like a little bit too long, so super happy with this. Cannot wait till I get it on the road, see some of the gains. I'm gonna get this hooked back up and then we're gonna get it on the road. Let's get it. So it's all hooked up. Everything went well except for one fairly major problem, but it's not anything I did wrong or nothing like that. It's because I have the Procharger. Look at this tube, man. So I had trimmed it up to fit the other one, to fit the stock Lt1 intake, but this intake sits up so much higher. I mean, I went and loosened the clamps down in there, pulled this whole pipe up, and there's just not enough of this on there. I mean, I cut like that much off of there so that it fit cleanly on my previous Lt1 intake, but now I'll be ordering a new one of these ASAP because I have got to get this fixed. This just doesn't work, but I think I got it on there where it won't come off. Hopefully I can limp by for a couple of days. Yeah. Well, it started obviously. I think I caught enough on this pipe that this isn't gonna come off. So that's good. I closed the hood and checked this. It doesn't hit on the hood, so I'm all good there. Let's just get this thing on the road. So far, just driving around, if you guys can see the long-term fuel trims, slightly lean, but nothing too crazy so far. I did reset my fuel trims. I still haven't gone wide open throttle. If it's loud, I got the windows down, you guys. But it's looking like a little bit in the upper RPMs. It's running leaner and leaner. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I'm scared to even get on it. With the way that hose is on the throttle body, I just don't trust it. I clamped those clamps down as tight as they would freaking go, but oh, I love having the burbles, man. Love having them back. Love it. Love it. Oh snap, it don't get old. Have everybody in the gas station staring at me. So I know you're not supposed to lose any power down low like the MSD, but honestly I feel like I gained a little bit of power now. Is that just because I ported it or what? I'm not really too sure, but as of right now, I'm feeling like I gained some power down low. Definitely will be doing some tuning, probably tomorrow, maybe this weekend, we'll see. I mean, she feels good though. She feels like she's running strong. You know, not a huge difference. I still haven't gone wide open throttle. Let's go. Yo, so check out the fuel trims here. A little bit more consistent on the long term versus MAF, but still a little bit all over the place, but I'll take it. Nothing too crazy. And I mean, it's all running a little bit rich, which is what I want anyway, so Okay, so it is the next day. Now I just want to quickly touch on this intake, the kind of gains that you can expect to see, and why I think this is the cheapest way to build really good horsepower on the 6th gen Camaros right now. Real quick, this tube here, I got one ordered up, but it's gonna take like 2 to 3 days to get here, so that's why I'm not tuning right now. But anyways, this Lt2 intake that goes on the C8 Camaro, the kind of gains you can expect to see, especially if you port it and pair it with a ported throttle body, is an easy 20 horsepower, maybe even up to 25. I don't know, that's a little on the high end. That would definitely be combined with other mods. Now there's several people on the forums already that have had their car out, they've dynoed them. It seems to be pretty consistent right around that 20 horsepower. Porting seems to net you 2 or 3 horsepower, give or take. And if you want for sure certified results, go check out GPI's videos. They've dynoed this thing on a 6th gen Camaro, totally stock. They got 20 horsepower out of it. So yeah, this thing is really looking like it is the best bang for buck mod right now. So I highly recommend that you guys go scoop yourselves one of these up. They're only going for like 200 bucks, give or take $20. I suggest Rock Auto to try to get yourself one. They're usually less than 200 on there. If you get them through a place that ports them or whatever, of course the price is going to go up. I really don't think porting it yourself is all that bad. It's pretty hard to go wrong, but yeah, you guys need to go scoop these up ASAP before GM jacks the price up on these. I will be tuning soon and really letting you guys know the gains I get out of it. I just don't trust it until this tube is fixed, because I just had to stretch it too far because I cut too much off of there. But like I said, that tube will be here soon. I appreciate everybody sharing my videos. I'm out of here, man. Peace.